Hey, what is going on, guys? Thanks for checking out this video of my sports, Gematria. In this video, I am going to go over all the NBA games for Sunday, February 21st, 2021. I'm going to show you both sides of each game, and it's going to be up to you to determine who you think will win based on the numbers. I encourage you to add additional information on top of this if needed for you to feel confident in your own pick. And if for some reason you're curious to know who I am picking in these games, you'll have to join my Patreon where my picks are always in writing, underlined, and italicized. For more information on that, please read the description of this video. I wish you guys the best of luck in your picks today. Let's go ahead and get into today's games. We got Celtics versus the Pelicans, Thunder versus Cavs, Pistons, Magic, Sixers, Raptors, Timberwolves, Knicks, Nuggets, Hawks, Nets, Clippers, and Kings and the Bucks. Alright, so I have date numerology, what I call my daily numbers, Gregorian Hebrew calendar. And then I have my game numbers. Away team up top, a head-to-head record in the middle, home team at the bottom. So let's get into this. We have two different outcomes here that we can play with. First one is, let's just go ahead and say the Celtics are going to win this game. For them to do that, they would get their 16th win for the season. Today is the 9th day of the 6th month on the Hebrew Civil, like 96. And the number 16 sums to 96. I already had that keyed up. And, today does have 10 date numerology on the Gregorian. One of these two teams is going to go 1-0 head-to-head against the other, like 10. Might as well just be the Celtics if you're going to pick them. Celtics would get their 21st all-time head-to-head win against the Pelicans. It is the 21st day of the current month, 21st of February, day with 10 date numerology. The Pelicans, with the loss, they would sit on 12 wins for the season as they become 7-8 at home for the season with the loss. 78 mathematically is the 12th triangular number. So those are going to be the numbers, potentially the numbers to focus on, and some other stuff around it that would look for the Celtics to win. Now, what would it look like if the Pelicans were to win this game? Well, Pelicans, it's their coach's 937th regular season game. 937. 937 is the 159th prime number. On the Hebrew religious calendar, there's 159 date numerology. Interestingly enough, it's the 333rd day of the Hebrew religious year, a day leaving 20 left. And if Pelicans win this game and their coach's 973rd regular season game, it would become 2020 head-to-head against the Celtics. And the Celtics coach would sit on 333 regular season wins for his career. So you have this nice little Hebrew calendar connection potentially to play out here. It'd be the Hebrew religious side. It's going to be battling the Hebrew civil side because, again, Celtics can get their 16th win. 16 sums to 96. It's the 9th day of the 6th month on the Hebrew civil side. So you have two different sides here that are kind of battling each other. And you're going to have to figure out which way it's going to go. Is it the Hebrew civil along with a little bit of that Gregorian and some game numbers is what I would call these. 12 and 78 specific to the game but doesn't necessarily reflect the calendars. Or is it the Hebrew religious right here, 2020, 333, 333rd day, leaving 20 left. Thunder and the Cavs. If the Thunder were going to win this game, it's going to be them going 8-9 on the road, like 89 with the win. 89 sums to 116. It's the 116th all-time head-to-head matchup between these two teams. 89, 8-9, 116. I almost also forgot 68. Thunder can get their 68th all-time head-to-head win against 68 sums to 52. Today is the 52nd day of the Gregorian year. Cavs would sit on 10 wins for the season as they get their 21st loss for the season. Today does have 10 date numerology, the 21st day of February. Cavs would also get their 10th loss in a row as they sit on 10 wins on a day with 10 date numerology, as their coach sits on 100 regular season wins for his career with the loss today. 100 has a square root of 10. One of these two teams are going 1-0 head-to-head against the other, like 10. And we can go ahead and segue into the Cavs winning. If the Cavs are going to win, it would be because they want Thunder to get their 10th away loss. We were just talking about how 10 goes against the Cavs in more ways than one. Or it simply could just be the Cavs becoming 1-0 head-to-head against the Thunder for this season as they get their 10th away loss. It is the Cavs' 16th home game for the season. The number 16 does sum to 96, the 9th day of the 6th month for the Hebrew Civil. Cavs coach could get his 16th regular season win as a coach for the Cavs. It is the Cavaliers' 31st game of the season, and they can go ahead and just get their 11th win for the season if they really wanted to, as Thunder sits on 11 wins for the season. 31, the 11th prime number. So there's your two sides right there. Pistons and Magic. This one's a little bit tricky because they play each other back to back. Pistons and Magic will play each other once again, but it'll be on Tuesday. So they play them back to back, and they'll be on Tuesday. The tough part about this is Gregorian today, Sunday, is a day leaving 313 left in the Gregorian year. With the win, Pistons would become 313 for an away record. And the Magic coach would get his 313th loss regular season for his career. 313 mathematically is the 65th prime number, and Pistons would get their 65th regular season head-to-head win against Magic at the same time. Seems pretty convincing. Seems legit. My only problem with this is that on Tuesday, they're playing again, and it'll be a day leaving 311 left in the Gregorian year, and 311 is the 64th prime number, and Magic could be sitting on 64 regular season head-to-head losses against Pistons heading into that game on Tuesday. So that's what kind of bugs me a little bit, is that, just as something as simple as that can just sit there until Tuesday. And, there's also 98 date numerology on the Hebrew Civil for Tuesday. And the Magic coach could sit on 98 regular season losses as a coach for the Magic with the win on Sunday heading into Tuesday's game. And if they win the first game, he would get his 88th regular season win as a coach for Magic, as the Magic become 8-8, like 88 at home for this season. So it seems a little complex, a little weird. The 313s are so abundant. 313 to 65th prime. It's almost like it has a bit of that too good to be true vibe to it, even though it can still totally work out either way. But it just seems almost too good to be true. Almost seems like clickbait a little bit, little clickbaity. The 64 there. It would be the 23rd day on Tuesday. If Pistons lose 22, they can get their 23 on Tuesday. But, it's either going to be Pistons Day on Sunday with that 313. Magic coach gets that 313. 65th prime, they get that 65. Or, that 64 is going to hold out until Tuesday. Just like this 98 will hold out until Tuesday in favor of the Magic. I would probably do a little bit more looking at this. Pause the screen, really look at these numbers, and just see what makes sense to you, what makes the most sense. Still needs a little bit more work here, a little more thought. Sixers and the Raptors. Now, we've talked about 16 already. 16 sums to 96, the ninth day of the 6th month on the Hebrew Civil. Raptors can get their 16th win for the season, or they can get their 16th loss for the season. Flip your coin, take your guess. It's the Sixers' 16th away game. Continue to flip that coin, take your guess. A number that we just now started talking about was 65. Raptors with a win could get their 65th all-time head-to-head win against the Sixers. But here's the dilemma again. You know, today does have a day leaving 313 left, the 65th prime. But guess what? These two teams also play each other again on Tuesday. So, you know, Raptors could get that 65, just like Pistons could get that 65 and that 313 and that 313. But both these games are happening again on Tuesday, and Tuesday is a day that leaves 311 days left, the 64th prime number, and the Sixers can just sit on that 64, or Raptors can sit on that 64 heading into Tuesday with the loss. Interesting enough, though, Sixers, 31st game of the season. Raptors, 31st game of the season. Raptors coach could get his 127th regular season win, the 31st prime number. 31 is the 11th prime number. Sixers would get their 11th loss, and Raptors would even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Sixers, like an 11, heading into their last and final game on Tuesday. Today, on the Hebrew religious, is a day leaving 20 left. The Sixers can go up 2-0 in the series like 20, or they can sit on 20 wins for the season with the loss. It's going to go either way. So you're going to have to decide, is it the Gregorian 21-10, 21st day with 10-date numerology? And then the Raptors get that 16-16, and that 64 sits there till Tuesday, a day leaving 311 left. Or the Raptors just go ahead and wrap it up with the 31, 31, 11, the 127, and even the score heading into Tuesday. Timberwolves and the Knicks. Again with the 16. 16 sums to 96. Ninth day of the 6th month on the Hebrew Civil, like 96. The Timberwolves' 16th away game. Knicks could go ahead and just sit on 16 losses for the season with the win. The number 16 sums to 96, and it sums to 33. The Knicks could get their 33rd all-time head-to-head win against the Timberwolves. And this is the Timberwolves coach's 137th regular season game, the 33rd prime number. Today does have 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 does sum to 86. The Knicks can become 8-6 at home for the season with the win. And here's another team that can go 3-13. Timberwolves can be 3-13 on the road with the loss on the 313th day. Or a day that leaves 313 left, excuse me. But it is the 59th all-time head-to-head game between these two teams. Mathematically, 59 is the 17th prime number. The Knicks could just go ahead and get their 17th loss for the season. Today does have 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. Timberwolves coach would get his 44th regular season win. And the Wolves would get their 4th road win for the season, going on with the 44 and the 4 theme. And the Timberwolves would get their 8th win for the season. Today does have 64 date numerology on the Gregorian. 64 does have a square root of 8. So it's there. It's definitely there. It is definitely there. 59, the 17th prime. 17 is the 7th prime number, and the Knicks would get their 7th home loss for the season, so that can just kind of go all the way through. Nuggets versus the Hawks. We have the number 16 again. Nuggets can sit on 16 wins for the season in their 16th away game. The number 16 sums to 96. It's the 9th day of the 6th month on the Hebrew Civil. Hawks, this is their 16th home game. I think the coach is back now. Definitely double check on that. Because Hawks can get their 18th loss for the season as the coach sits on 61 regular season wins for his career. 61 is the 18th prime number. And that will only work if the Hawks coach is in. 10 date numerology on the Gregorian. Hawks would get their 10th loss at home. And did I see a lot for the Nuggets? Not a whole lot. Hawks getting their 10th as Nuggets become 1-0 head-to-head against Hawks like 10. With this being the Hawks coach's 179th game, 179 is the 41st prime number. 41 sums to 118. And he can get his 118th loss regular season in his 179th regular season game. But at the same time, 179 is the 41st prime number. 41 is the 13th prime number. Hawks could just go ahead and get their 13th win for the season as they sit on 41 all-time head-to-head losses against the Nuggets. So that can swing either way, I think, potentially. So be careful of that. And then 17 for Nuggets. I mean, 17 sums to 44. Today does have 44 date numerology on the Gregorian. 44. So they can just as easily get their 17th win for the season. Nets and the Clippers. So the most obvious narrative here would be Clippers becoming 23-9 for a season record. 239. 239. 239 is the 52nd prime number. Today is the 52nd day of the Gregorian. The most obvious narrative here. 44 date numerology on the Gregorian, and the Clippers would get their 44th all-time head-to-head win against the Nets. It's so blatant, it's so obvious, right? The Clippers, they would sit on 9 losses for the season as they even the score 1-1 head-to-head against the Nets, like an 11. 11 sums to 99. And interesting enough, the Nets would get their 13th loss for this season. And 13 sums to 99. So there could be this like indirect Clippers sitting on that 9 loss, 11, 13, indirect 99, 9 connection there. 23-9, the 52nd prime. Today does have 36 date numerology on the Hebrew Civil. And the Clippers, their coach, get his 151st regular season win, which is the 36th prime number. But today does have a day leaving 20 left on the Hebrew religious. Nets could just go ahead and sweep the Clippers 2-0 like 20 as the Nets get their 20th win for the season. The Nets would also get their 6th win in a row if this were to happen. The number 6 sums to 20. The number 6 sums to 52. Today is the 52nd day of the Gregorian year. And the number 6 sums to 16. It being their 16th away game for the season. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. Kings and the Bucks, last but not least. We have similar numbers as all the other games. We got the 44 date numerology. We have the 52nd day. Kings coach can get his 44th regular season win as a coach for the Kings. Or the Bucks coach can sit on 52 regular season losses as a coach for the Bucks with the win. So that can go either way. Those two numbers are battling each other. See which one will hold up. Today does have 28 date numerology on the Gregorian. 28 sums to 141. Kings coach would sit on 141 regular season wins with the loss. Today does have 10 date numerology on the Gregorian. The Bucks could just sit on 10 home wins for the season. And one of these two teams is going to become 1-0 head-to-head against the other. Like 10. So we'll see which one it is. Kings are on a 6-game lose streak. They can get their 7th loss in a row as they get their 7th away loss for the season. But it is the flip side of that would be Kings. They would get their 59th all-time head-to-head win against the Bucks as they sit on 17 losses for the season. 59, the 17th prime number. even though 17 is the 7th prime number. And then Bucks would sit on 17 wins. So Bucks would sit on 17 wins, 59. Let's just do this, because it goes both ways. So 17, Bucks sit on 17 wins as they get their 59th all-time head-to-head loss against the Kings, 59 to 17 prime. And the Kings would sit on 17 losses for the season with the win. The flip side to this is the Kings would get their 18th loss for the season in the 149th all-time head-to-head game between these two teams, as Bucks get their 18th win for the season. 18 sums to 35, and 149 mathematically is the 35th prime number. Bucks could get their 91st all-time head-to-head win against the Kings, 91 the 13th triangular number, and Bucks would sit on 13 losses for the season. So that can kind of split either way. Hopefully I've given you guys enough information here. If not, just pause the video, look at these numbers. You should be able to, at the very least, build upon this, what I've already given you, and make your own decision. And I wish you guys the best of luck. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.